Hello and welcome back to Sustainapod, the youth-led podcast for young people and anyone interested in sustainability across the world. My name is Rachel, and today I'll be co-hosting this episode of the Green Careers mini-series with Chinny, where we explore careers in sustainability. Today, we are honored to have Justin Yeung, an in-house sustainability practitioner, join us today. Justin previously spoke on our podcast about his experiences traveling to Antarctica as the co-founder of 2041 Hong Kong. And we're so excited to have him today to share his career journey with us. So a brief background about Justin. He completed his bachelor degree in geography at the University of Bristol, and now he works as a sustainability executive at Techtronic Industries, having graduated from their leadership development program. And again, thank you for being here, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So we're gonna talk about some more general questions first. Can you tell us about like your current role working as an in-house sustainability practitioner, like what it involves?
Sure. So I joined TTI a year and a half ago as an LDP, which is an abbreviation for Leadership Development Program. But I'll explain a little bit more on what the LDP is. So I joined them as a sustainability executive. When I joined, I already got a lot of opportunity to really handle different kind of projects regarding ESG reporting, data collection, coordinating efforts across different functions within the business, and really, to push out some kind of initiatives locally as well as regionally and globally now to really push forward the sustainability agenda, and as well as planning the strategy side of things for the company. And especially I think in this huge company, there's a lot of things to really experience and really work on, and that includes peer and industry benchmarking. And with all these benchmarking happening with a lot of our peers, I understand a lot of things to do in the company and really define what sustainability is within the company as well as in the industry. So a major thing that I did, I'm currently doing, as well as a major part of what I did last year, was the sustainability disclosure and reporting. Because Techtronic Industries (TTI) is a listed company. We are under Hong Kong Exchange. Under the Appendix 27, we have to report our ESG performance for our investors, for all our stakeholders. So this is a huge part of what I'm doing right now, to really talk about the content of the reporting side of things. So back to what I mentioned earlier, LDP, I joined this company under this leadership development program. Essentially, it's a program, you can think of it as a MT program. So for example, every year we have like a mentorship session where the entire batch of LDPs, we join in, and then we get coached on different kind of leadership skills, including communications, learning agility, etc. So really building our leadership skills within the company to promote upwards and really one day be a management of the company. So this is basically what I do as a sustainability practitioner. So at the beginning of this year, there's a few things that I plan to do, which currently I'm setting up a task force on social engagement within the company to really push out like social impact regionally in Hong Kong, and obviously coordinating with global efforts in the US and push out some sort of diversity and inclusion D&I initiatives. So yeah.
So there are a lot of commitments. Like I think really pushing the sustainability agenda through like creating these initiatives sounds like it's pretty cool. And also I like the fact that you joined through the leadership program, because I think obviously you really have the leadership skills that are equipped for this role. So onto the why. So what do you think prompted you to start your career working as a sustainability practitioner? Was there something about the role or what it included that really enticed you?
I think this goes back to when I started high school, where I was actually from a local school, St. Joseph's College in Hong Kong, and where I actually got to take part in a lot of students' activities, a lot of, trainings. I was a scout back then, which I really enjoy being, and actually being a scout made me more, adventurous, make me do things that I don't necessarily do in the outdoor. And I was also in the Students' Union as well. So I actually got to organize a lot of things and trying to run initiatives. So that's one part of what got me into being, very adventurous. So after that, I transferred to Li Po United World College in Hong Kong. And that place is really an eye-opening factor for me in terms of what I do now as a sustainability practitioner. So that's in that school, it was a boarding school where I got to live with people from literally all around the world. My roommates from Honduras, Sri Lanka, Iraq, Palestine, Liechtenstein, and basically living with them in a very early on in my life. I was very grateful for that, but at the same time, I learned a lot about cultural stuff, and you actually get what it means to be a global citizen, to really incorporate different cultures and different projects, different practices, and that was really the beginning of my you can call it sustainability journey, where I actually find that, oh my God, there's so much out there. Instead of being a lawyer, being a doctor, you know, all these, they so-called the traditional roles, but rather it's something that I really hold has a big sentimental value to me, sustainability and about people working together for the greater good, which is why I actually chose to major in geography in the university, and specifically on physical geography, where it's really about, climate change, climate action, sustainable development goals. First time really learning about sustainable what it means to be sustainable, and what is the sustainable development goals, etc. So having these kind of early on exposure really has enabled me and built my capacity in this area, which, yeah, I'm so far I'm pretty proud of.
Okay, actually, after hearing you say that, I have like a similar experience to you because I also transferred from a local school into internationals, and it
Okay.
actually really helped me build like my background into exploring more into the environmental and sustainability prospect. And that is why I actually want to major in geography, like so you as well. Yeah, but can you like share like some more about how you decided to choose between being a sustainability consultant and a sustainability like practitioner, like what you're doing right now?
Well, in fact, I think that's a super good question that I don't really think about. Well, I was just literally an ordinary person, just sent out my CVs and cover letters after I graduate from university, trying to look for a job, internship opportunities, take whatever whatever it's out there that is available to me, and where there's an opportunity. And to me, I didn't really care whether it's a sustainability practitioner, whether it's a sustainability consultant role. And as long as it's something that I'm passionate about, that I think there's a learning opportunity, then I will go for it. I will apply. And because this is what I like. There's no particular direction that I'm looking into, but I know that what I like is sustainability and environmental conservation, or social justice, etc. So this is what I'm just looking into, and just doing the best that I can in branding myself as a person, as well as, showing that I'm capable for different job roles and duties. And I came across this company that I'm working in right now, and they have a pretty good program, and which is why, okay, I'm just gonna do it and, be the best that I could within what the opportunity comes, and, here I am. There's not a very big differential on why I chose being a consultant or being a practitioner in-house. Now, upon reflection, the experience is going to be very different if I start off with being a consultant. Being a practitioner actually allows me to really understand the industry, because right now my company is a pretty big company. It's a multinational corporation. It's listed in Hong Kong, but the market will be in the United States. So really learning about that side of the culture, as well as the internal business and operational complexity as well. And that is actually quite treasurable in terms of doing projects, thinking about a strategy to really pitch about it, and make an impact within and outside the company as well. So yeah.
I think honestly, you saying you choosing like internships or jobs based on what you're passionate about is so important, because right now I'm in the process of like looking for internships, like little part-time job activities, and I think it's really important to like, take a step back and like ask yourself, do I actually want to do this, or like do I actually care about this? And then also I think a lot of your interests, like sustainability, social justice, they really align with mine as well. So I don't know if that's like a coincidence or whatever, but I just think that's cool to point out. But in terms of actually choosing a job, what would you say has been the biggest challenge in terms of like doing this career?
So basically, I think one of the biggest challenge that there is within my role right now is communications, because my role involves working with different business functions. And with business functions, they use different kind of language. So for example, our design team, they use a specific language that the lawyers doesn't use. So how do we translate this message and actually make projects happen, make things work? I think that's one of the biggest challenge, but at the same time, it's a huge potential for learning for myself, as well as for the entire function, because sustainability and climate change, social justice definitely is evolving all the time and it's changing all the time. And how to really communicate that change and the importance and the purpose of pursuing this within the business beyond profit is super important, and learning about that skill is super important as well. So yeah.
Okay, so like you mainly talked about communication as like a really important skill in your job. Are there like any other skills that you might want to share with us that is also like helpful?
I would say learning agility. So you keep learning, because I wouldn't say it for everyone. I think particular for us younger people, younger students as well. I think one of the things that we need to keep having is, the eagerness to learn more, keep absorbing knowledge, even if, there are a lot of external factors that put you down, saying that okay, it might not work this time. Just don't forget it, because it might not work this time doesn't mean it doesn't work in the future. So with constant learning, constant, adapting, I think that's super important being in this role as well. And, just managing expectations and learning the skill to negotiate and really, getting a collaboration consensus on things. I think that's super important as well. And I'm giving myself actually goal for myself this year to really, learn about the skill of persuasion. How do you make sure this proposal makes sense to people? Because in working in a very large organization like this, there will be a lot of a lot of comments on different things. So how do you really take that and absorb it and actually translate that to actually increase your credibility, personal credibility? That's super important to learn about.
Cool. So I think also I definitely agree with like persuading people, because I think your role definitely involves so much collaboration and communication, and especially since it's like a large organization, you kind of have to like adapt, like you said, really well to what other people
Mhm.
say. So I definitely agree with that. And I think, especially now that again our society is evolving so much, we always have to be adapting. Like for example, COVID-19, everyone had to adapt to that. And then now in so many different or new or rebranded industries, it's all about kind of willingness to learn and adapt to the environment of your workplace. So I think my next question would be the last question of the general section. It would be, do you have any advice for anyone who would like to enter your field or your role as a whole, as sustainability practitioner?
I think the main recommendations that I have for people that want to enter this field would really be, be part of it because you like it, because you live by the values, instead of, go into it because you think it's a cool thing. And I encourage, everyone to learn more about what it means to be sustainability, what he or she is in the business realm, and to really, figure out a path. Well, personally, definitely no bias, but I do encourage, I recommend people to really look into this field put a little bit more importance into it, because I strongly believe, this is the way to go in the future. And I think another thing to a rather soft skill is, never give up within this, because again, as I mentioned just now, you will hear a lot of, people who are passionate, super passionate about what you do, give you a lot of comments, very enthusiastic, but there are also people that might be hesitant of, I haven't done this before. Should I really, listen to what you say? But rather, if you know that it's the right thing to do, you keep doing it and adapt, accordingly, and you will find success then. One thing personally is that I've been through a lot of ups and downs within my job role within a very short period of time. But I think I keep telling myself that sometimes I have thoughts of, should I be doing this? Again, this happens again. But I keep telling myself, I know that it's the right thing to do. I'll do it because I know it's right, and I'll try my best to adapt towards it, navigate through different challenges, and just giving hope to myself and really giving it a purpose of what I'm doing, and that's super important. A purpose.
So I think you mentioned
Yeah.
adaptation a lot just now, like never giving up on your like proposals, even though maybe other people would give you a lot of comments, but you still like manage to
Mhm.
accept them and such. So
Mhm.
while we're moving on to like more field specific questions related to like your role as a sustainability practitioner. So what are like the industry specific sustainability of like your job at TTI?
So I would say obviously different industry have their own focus points. That's what we call the material topics, materiality of business. And I think especially for my company right now, it's within the electronic manufacturing company. I would say that one of the biggest is definitely climate change. That's actually ranked as the most important material topic of our business because we have a big global footprint. And we have manufacturing sites in China, in Vietnam, in Mexico, and we manufacture different kind of products. How do we make sure that we use the least amount of carbon as possible? That's one thing that we need to look at. At the same time, how do we make sure that we run our operations most efficiently? And another thing is diversity and inclusion, because our main products are power tools. So, you can already imagine traditionally it's mainly dominated by male, this kind of the usage of power tools. But nowadays we talk a lot about how do we get more female within this industry because their ideas are often missed if we don't include them. So how do we make sure that we give everyone equal opportunities to people and without looking at their background specifically, we want to give the same amount of access to people to have them shine within the industry because everyone matters. That's one big thing as well. And another thing is really identifying, what sustainability is within the industry. And that actually applies to all the industries that we're talking about. What is sustainability in that specific industry? Every different company have their own definitions. And how do we make sure that it's not greenwashing, obviously? As an industry, how do we make sure we're not greenwashing, we're just not making marketing claims, we are not just branding ourselves as doing good, but rather actually doing good for the environment, for people as well. Well, obviously another super big thing about our industry is definitely a supply chain. We have a lot of different suppliers. How do we make sure that there's no, for example, how do we make sure there's no child labor within the industry, within the supply chain? How do we make sure that we're not sourcing minerals from conflict regions? These kind of things that we look at it a lot, and we make sure that our suppliers are in compliance. So there's something that the industry is actively working on to be more sustainable per se.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
especially now in your career, as we know, always we all know sustainability is like developing so fast, and then it sounds like
Yeah.
having to micromanage so many things is kind of a testimony to how much evolution is happening. So this kind of follows on to my next question, which is how do you think sustainability in your industry will evolve in the next, say, like 5 to 10 years?
I would say in the next 5 to 10 years, there will be a lot of innovative ideas, a lot of technologies that comes out of it because, again, as you said, things are constantly evolving, and to actually make a manageable impact, you need innovation, you need technology. And yeah, I think I do see a huge transitioning happening slowly, and people are finding their own way of doing sustainability, being sustainable, and I would say there will be a huge transition in making sure that everything is just instead of just being quick, lowering cost, but rather it's there'll be a lot of rules set out by standard boards, frameworks, exchange, stock exchange and stuff, and we will have to evolve and adapt, as I said, adapt to it as well.
Like, as regards to your answer, I think a lot what you're talking about is that the company itself or like the field itself has like an increasing awareness about that sustainability is an important like concept like
Hmm.
that they have to take in. So I guess you can say it's more of a corporate social responsibility like that they have.
So we talk a lot about ESG nowadays. Before, a few years then, or even now, people still use CSR, corporate social responsibility. But now the investor community, they use ESG, environment, social, and governance. So what that really means is they're trying to tie it in with basically they're trying to tie it with different kind of materiality to value creation of the company. Actually it ties it's not really now, it's not really about, you do it because it's the right thing to do, but rather it actually adds value to your company. For example, if you use child labor, you are at risk of getting fined. because and obviously getting fined, you have financial implication, and how to really tie that thing within your business operations. That's more than just corporate social responsibility, I would say.
That's quite interesting because at school we were only taught about corporate social responsibility, not too much about ESR. So I find that
ESG.
yeah, oh yeah, ESG, sorry, ESG. So I found that pretty like interesting in regards to like because we found you on LinkedIn and we saw that you had a lot of leadership roles listed out on your profile. So
Mhm.
we were wondering, why did you choose to take like these commitments, like being the director of development for your school graduate association and co-founding 2041, etc.
So initially for the first one, which is the director of development, I was asked to be in it because we're actually currently having our anniversary celebration, and the graduate organization wanted me to help with their efforts in organizing a gala dinner for our alumni. And because of my actually that ties slightly with 2041 Hong Kong, which my co-founder and I had to fundraise for the trip and go to Antarctica on that expedition that I shared previously. There's not a particular reason of why I chose to be in it, but rather, what opportunities that come that I want to make the most out of it, I would say. Obviously, the Antarctic expedition inspired me to really bring back the Antarctica to Hong Kong, which my co-founder and I have set up a 2041 Hong Kong, and really getting a lot of friends support on this initiative, this community organization, and having them to help do different kind of projects, working together, and that's super fun. And it's just really seeing the joy and the purpose into it as well. That is what makes me keep doing all these kind of leadership roles and really make an impact to the people around me and even the team that I have right now. And just proposing ideas that people actually buys and work on it together. And I do enjoy being in a team and working towards something that there is a shared purpose.
Okay, so maybe I can just kind of ask the last question here. As someone who has just
Mm-hmm.
started your career, do you have any career aspirations for the future or anything specific you'd like to achieve in your role?
I think my personal career aspiration is to really focusing on the impact side of things, to create an impact in various scale to do good for people around me and to myself as well, to really create something that I can be proud of and even remembered by whoever, and to really again have the impact that is needed to change the world. So that's my little very ambitious aspiration, but I do hope that that could be done through various ways that I'm doing, various things that I'm working on. And obviously, in terms of my career right now, in my proper job right now, I do want in the future be in a leadership role, because in working in a big corporation like this, one small decision will have a large impact and then the trickle down effect. So really, learning all the things that I have, and to really manage a group of people for the common purpose. I think that's something that I really want to do. And side things, I probably mentioned this before in the previous podcast. I do personally have an aspiration to set sail from Hong Kong Victoria Harbor to Antarctica with yeah and to really say that we can do this. It's no matter how hard it is, as long as you have a purpose, as long as you have something that you're passionate about, that you enjoy doing, you can do it. Everyone can.
I think that's such a
Yeah.
great way to wrap off the episode, is to find your purpose and then set sail, literally set sail. So thank you so much, Justin, for joining us today. Thank you, obviously, to the Sustainapod
Thank you.
listeners for tuning in this week with us. We would love to hear from you about this episode. So let us know any questions and comments by messaging us on Instagram at sustainapodgah or email us at sustainapod@gmail.com. See you next time. Bye.